But moving on, we've got a very interesting, look at demographics for a series to see, how popular it is and with what types of people. And that's for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because as part of, the JoJo exhibition Ripples of Adventure, an exhibition celebrating the 30th anniversary of JoJo's, there was a fan survey to reveal the ultimate JoJo fan image. And the JoJosapiens project, it was called, and it revealed its results. And the ultimate JoJo fan, an image of that was revealed. And it's I don't know how to describe it, but, it kind of looks like Jolene on this, which is not so much surprise. And then Araki created his own stand based on the image as well, which is a pretty fashionable looking dude. He's got fur leggings and a scarf and with feathers out of it, kind of like a pharaoh mask kind of thing.
Oh man.
But basically the main part that was interesting to me is that there was a survey that more than 7,000 people responded to that had questions in the following categories: body, love, soul, favorite, mind, fetishism, money, speed, past, and JoJo. And for some questions, the website posted a selected selection of typed responses from fans, including some responses in English. And so, here's where the demographics come in. The survey results, according to them, the average JoJo fan is 24.9 years old. So basically, the average JoJo fan is 25 years old.
Yeah.
And their height is 165 centimeters, or about 5 feet and 5 inches tall. Among the respondents, 50.2% were male and 48.3% were female, so pretty close. And 1.5 identified as other. The franchise's fans have dated an average of 2.9 people each, but only 33.6 currently have a significant other, which, for a person in their mid-20s is not unusual.
Yeah.
And respondents' favorite food was ramen. Their favorite non-Araki manga is One Piece. Their favorite color is blue. 44.9% of them are cat people rather than dog people. They also share Araki's apparent dislike of dogs. Respondents' number one fear was their fellow humans. That's a very JoJo's fear. And followed by Ghost and Death, and other very JoJo's fears. And the thing they said they want to do more than anything before they die is travel the world, which, pretty, it's kind of a JoJo's dream, too.
Yeah, they want to have their own Stardust Crusade. Exactly.
And that brings us to, what were fans' most popular arcs, and 19.1% of fans listed the fifth part of JoJo's, Golden Wind, as their favorite. Yeah. Diamonds Unbreakable ranked second with 17.5% of votes. Stardust Crusaders came in third with 17.3% of votes. So that's pretty telling. There's always been kind of this misconception that Part 5 was not as popular as other parts, but in fact, it is apparently one of the most popular parts, if not the most popular. And so, it's good to kind of have that validation, because some people throw shade at Part 5. But, no, it's actually pretty popular. And, respondents' top 3 favorite stands were Star Platinum, Killer Queen, and Crazy Diamond. And their favorite fight was the battle between Jotaro and Dio in Stardust Crusaders. And the character highest star they want to try most is Jolene Cujo's.
I'm not entirely surprised by some of those results. I mean, I've pretty much known that Part 5 was more popular than it seems, since we had previously podcasted about JoJo before, honestly. So up until then, I was really under the impression that not a lot of people liked Part 5, just because I think over here, and I'm sure it has something to do with, the really terrible scans that most people read online.
The original scanlation for it was not very good. Yeah,
so I think because of that, I had seen people who were very mixed on Part 5. Either some people really loved it, or other people just hated it. There was no in between. But I'm sure when the Part 5 anime premieres this October, that's gonna change. I'm sure, mostly everybody's gonna pretty much fall in line and just love Part 5. I'm really interested as someone who hasn't read or watched any of Part 5, so I'm really interested in seeing what my opinion of Part 5 is gonna be compared to the other 4 parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the reaction to the Part 5 anime will be very positive. I know people are already extremely excited for it. And I've also noticed that a lot of the shade criticism of Part 5, there is legitimate criticism of, like, the antagonist of Part 5 in particular. Not only do people get confused about his power, how his powers work, they just don't find him a very compelling antagonist in general.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also an element of, like, a boys club mentality. Like, I feel like some fans felt that this part was more popular with female fans, and so those people, put Part 5 down because of that, which was incredibly unfair. So I think that, we'll see that, idea that Part 5 is somehow not as good as the previous parts be proven untrue when the anime hits and blows everyone away yet again.
I'm really interested in seeing, in particular, like, and this is kind of related, but I'm really interested in seeing what the reaction to, like, Part 6 is going to be when that's animated.
I think Part 6 is going to do extremely well, because the content of Part 6 has held up extremely well. It deals with really mature and difficult themes that, I don't want to spoil some of the stuff that happens in Part 6 or some of the stuff that characters deal with, but, like, backstory of Enrico Pucci, the main antagonist in particular, and what motivates him is just so incredibly powerful and, like, thought-provoking, as is, like, and its relationship with Dio is so fascinating, but in general, it also had both, like, incredibly awesome female protagonists. Like, Jolene is my favorite JoJo, just out of all the JoJo's.
See, I see people who, like, really don't like Part 6, like, it's so weird.
I think a lot of people who have negative feelings of Part 6. Again, I think there's this boys club mentality that people have towards Part 5 as well that colors their perception. But another thing that I think, people have misgivings about is that, the ending of Part 6, it is pretty difficult to accept in some way. Like, it is kind of it is very bittersweet, and, I'm sure a lot of people might feel upset by that, but, I think at this point, that is not a secret to a lot of people, how Part 6 ends and what ramifications that has for everything afterwards. So,
yeah,
I don't think that's an issue. I think the story content of Part 6 is just so good, though. I truly believe it is, like, it is the best written of the parts that was run in Shonen Jump. It's my favorite, of course. Like, I would say that maybe Part 7 is even more well put together in terms of how Araki explored his themes and the art quality and all that stuff. So, like, on a technical level, maybe I would say Steel Ball Run is even better. But, like, I think Stone Ocean just has so much going for it that I imagine when the anime comes out, it will garner a lot of discussion. Like, not just, like, fan enthusiasm of it, like, as has been from the previous parts, but, like, critical discussion as well. Like, people will be talking about some of the ideas that are discussed in that series. Because there's, like, an actual ideological kind of conflict that is motivating, like, an antagonist in that, and that, like, kind of gets into the core of what JoJo's is about as well. So it's, like, very culminative of, like, what the series had kind of been building towards. So I have a lot of love to heap on Part 6. And, I think I am really excited for that gets an anime in particular. But, right now, I'm really looking forward to Part 5 because there's just a lot of that I'm really excited to revisit too.
Oh man, I can't wait for JoJo Fridays to come back. That's gonna be so amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, just revisiting JoJo's, like, some of the anime on Twitch, and as well as catching, like, the final set of episodes of Stardust on Toonami, and now with Diamond is also premiering on Toonami. Like, I'm super excited about JoJo's again. Again, the Part 5 premiere, I saw it at AX. It was so good. Got me so excited. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Part 5.
I mean, like, I've talked about before how I don't really keep up with Toonami much anymore, but man, I have been jonesing to just rewatch all of Part 4, because at this point so far, it's probably the part I like the most. I kind of go back and forth between that and Part 1. Again, I have this weird, like, relationship with Part 1 where I know it's not perfect, and I know it's probably, the writing may be kind of dated, but I mean, I still love it, and I think it still has a lot to offer as the foundation of JoJo. But Yeah, I really can't wait to rewatch part 4. Like, I'm definitely going to be watching that every week while it's on Toonami.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
hey, you
yeah.
could also tune into the Twitch stream that Wiz is doing. I think part 4 will be on there from the 21st to 25th, so you could tap into that too.
Yeah, I should probably get on that.